not what you waiting for. Got some special things in store. Let's give it up to only yours. On everything I love is yours. Everything I love. On everything I love. Everything on everything I love.
What does on everything I love mean to you?
Black community, black power, black love.
Having conversations we're not used to having.
Forming the people we love. I'm not sure I can really simplify it.
Everything I
It means a lot.
love. On everything I love. Everything.
Yo, what's going on? It's on everything I love. It's your boy Reverse J.
See the kid was good.
Nuke B.
Monty V.
And today we have a very special guest, friend to the show, my man Mr. Alamar Davenport. How you doing, man?
Doing well.
All right. We got there's been a lot of things going on in the community, in particular with OC Hill. A lot of people have a lot of questions. So we thought, why not bring in someone who's very intricate in the development of it. So, sir, if you'd like to go ahead and explain to us what's going on and why is your name been in everyone's Facebook post?
Sure. First off, I want to thank you guys for allowing me to come in and speak in regard to this subject. As he has said, there is a lot of information that's out there. Some information is factual. Some information is inferred. So this just kind of gives us an opportunity to address some of the questions that are out there and and just talk about what's going on. So the situation is about 2 weeks ago now, the administration, and when I refer to the administration, I'm talking about the mayor's office, decided there were everyone that's in the OC Hill building, except for Children's Services, received a notice to vacate. They were told to vacate before March 31st, and that they would not be renewing those leases. I want to make it clear that this decision is not a city council decision. This is a decision that comes from the administration, and he does not need city council approval to do so. We were not in the room when this decision was made. We were not even made aware that this was coming down. I, as the city councilman there in the 4th Ward, was given a heads up on a Friday, and these letters were received by the tenants on the Monday. So we were all blindsided. No one knew this was coming. I was the only councilman who was made aware because it is in my ward, and it is something that I've been speaking about for the last 8 months. So I was made aware on a Friday. But actually, I wasn't even supposed to be made aware. I happened to bump into our parks department head, and he gave me the heads up because he knew that once they received them, the questions would come to me. So upon receiving that information, I did, prior to the letters going out, did notify those who would be affected that this was coming, and we've been dealing with the issue since then. I won't get further into. I'm just going to kind of field the questions, and I'm assuming the questions, and I'll be able to field everything that's out there. So, but that's essentially what's going on.
Yeah. So I think a lot of, like you said, man, the Facebook storm, man, a lot of people, social media got caught up in. So just to clarify, the building is not being knocked down tomorrow.
No.
Or at all.
So, I'm social media takes life of its own at times.
Mm-hmm.
And there has been no talk of knocking the building down tomorrow or next week or next month from the administration. What has transpired is they have decided not to renew leases on on all of the tenants set for children's services. Now, when I did get word, like I said, I did contact all the tenants, and there are different issues with each of the tenants that had to be rectified. So that Monday, I did walk into the mayor's office and speak with the mayor, and I took each organization on its own and spoke separately about each organization to the mayor. One that I will say that my focus was on one organization, and that was the Culliver Reading Center. Many of us know of the Culliver Reading Center. Many of us have gone through the Culliver Reading Center program, whether it was as its current incarnation or with Ms. Shepard when she was running the day-to-day operations. Now, the Culliver Reading Center is unique in that building, in that it serves, now all of the organizations serve the neighborhood. They all serve the community, but Culliver Reading Center is unique in that it serves families. It serves let me take that back. Families who use Culliver Reading Center as essentially child care,
right.
child daycare. A lot of the students who are there live right there in that area, so they're able to be dropped off after school, go to the Culliver Center, receive what they need from there, and then walk home once the parent has came home from work. So my focus has been with the Culliver Reading Center because it would create a real hardship for a lot of the families that are there who utilize their service.
Free daycare in the hood.
Correct. Is essentially what it is. And especially with the summer fast approaching and a lot of people sending their kids to the Culliver Reading Center for the day while school is out, it would really create a hardship. It would create a situation where a lot of parents would have to scramble to find daycare. Many of them do not have the funds to find daycare, and it would really put them in a situation where, like I said, it would create a real hardship for some families. So I spoke with the mayor in regard to this. We've been speaking with, and we have come up with a solution. So there are Culliver Reading Center, and there are a few others who will remain in the building. But there are, and to be completely transparent, the deal was in place for everyone. I had a deal in place for everyone to remain in the building. And this was conveyed to me on the 4th of February. I contacted all of the tenants and let them know that the issue has been rectified. I still had Culliver Center and I still had Gay Pride Association speak at council on that Tuesday. And on the following day, a few of the organizations, there was a about face where the administration decided to not renew those leases. And that is where the storm, as you will, began.
So how does new people like come in and occupy those spaces? Is that a thing, or is it?
So the space is designed to help newly formed nonprofits. It's kind of like an incubator where new profits can come in at a low cost, have space to provide the services that they're providing, and that is one of the criteria, that you must be a nonprofit to utilize the current space.
How would one go about like trying to get into those spaces? Like where does that process start?
So it starts with the Parks Department. and there is a year lease that organizations would sign, and it is the Parks Department and the administration that runs that.
So there's a direct way to reach out to them about that, or
If someone wanted to rent space, yes. You can go to the Parks Department, and they will let you know what it is that you need to do in order to rent space there.
Sorry, y'all. We got anybody. So where's the Parks Department? I'll just be the one to ask.
Sure. So the Parks Department is actually in OC Hill. They are. If you walk in OC Hill, go up the steps, and you make that right. They're in that office right there.
Okay.
Okay, and so the closing of the other like programs or whatever, is it because of like lack of funding, or is there?
Sure. Now, for because those organizations are not here, I won't get into specific reasons as to why. But I will say some of them it was for being behind the rent. Some of them were out of compliance in the lease. But I will say this: some of them were in compliance. Some of them were up to date on payment and still received the letter. I still haven't received an answer as to why that was. But as I said, it was not. They did not pick out certain organizations. It was a blanket thing. They sent out a letter to everyone except for Children's Services.
Okay, that's because my next question was going to be a lot of people, talk around. Is just another thing, the white man kicking us out again. The white man doing this thing. So you're saying it wasn't, no one was specifically targeted. It was just everybody got to go.
No, there was no one was specifically targeted. No one was singled out. Now, we are hearing on social media that members are being singled out. Now, where that is coming from is, as I said, initially I had a deal in place for everyone to stay. Everyone who showed that they were in compliant with the lease. And that was on a Tuesday, and then on a Wednesday there was a about face, and in a meeting, one of the tenants was told their lease would not be renewed.
So being we're going to get some questions from people watching, but I got a question. So being the councilman of the 4th Ward, the North End, how important is it to get involved with the process and then trusting that process and understanding and going forward?
Sure. Anyone who's followed me during my campaign, one thing that I spoke about was reclaiming a collective voice, and what that means is mobilizing and engaging in the process, coming out and being involved in what's going on. And we'll take this specific issue. And we'll speak about this. When this happened, what I said to every single organization was mobilize as many people as possible and get them into council. Get them there on the North. At times we are invisible. So we have to raise our hands and say, look, we're here. We have to show the administration that the decisions that are made for us affect us, and we have to show how they affect us. The only way to do that is to stand up and say we are here and talk about how this would affect those on the North End. So, as I said, I did go to every single organization and say to them, we must show out. We must pack, and I'm still asking. For every member, and not just the North End. We need members who understand and see what's going on to come out and support us in the North End, but especially the North End. The North End has to come out and show we are here and raise their hand. something that I've said is the squeaky wheel gets the oil. If we don't make noise, no one's going to pay attention to us. So we have to make noise. We all know the importance of OC Hill, not so much the building, but the services that are being provided in the building. So we must maintain that. The only way we can maintain that is show that it's something that we rely on. It's something that is necessary in our neighborhood, and that's by coming out and making that noise that we're speaking of. So to shortly answer your question, it is extremely important that we come out and mobilize and show our face, not just Tuesday, but continuously. And because in the political world, if you don't vote, people they're not concerned with you, because they're not thinking about, well, in 4 years I'm going to need that block of votes, so I don't have to do anything for them.
Straight up. Black people listen, and that's how we got Donald Trump in office. You got to vote, got to get involved. Giving your opinion on social media is not necessarily enough. Not that it's not needed, it's just not enough. Got to get involved. Do we have any questions from?
All the questions I see, I think we're kind of, in my opinion, we're addressed.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So anything, man, that you would like? You pretty much cleared up a lot, but anything you like people? Any parting words you like?
Sure. I do want to address something else that I've seen pretty rampant on social media, and that is the building of a new building. There's a lot of misconceptions about things of that nature, and we here in Mansfield. I am in Mansfield, born and raised in Mansfield. I have spent my entire adult life elsewhere, and coming back, something that I knew before, but it really was emphasized when I went away and came back home, was that Mansfield, we're kind of in a bubble, and we've put ourselves in a bubble, and we have this mindset that if I can't see it, it can't happen. If I've never seen it, it can't happen. If I don't have the dollar in my pocket, it can't happen. In the last 3 years, there have been $20 million that have been spent here in Mansfield, that have been donated here in Mansfield.
$20 million in this town?
On different projects, namely the Kingwood project and Little Buckeye. So that mentality has to go away. We have to get out of the mindset of nothing can happen in this town. Things happen in this town. Do things happen on our end of town? No.
No,
They do not. But that's not to say that that can't change. How that changes is, again, by us mobilizing, by us raising our hand and saying we are here, and making it known that these services are needed for us. I won't get deep into it. I haven't said anything publicly about it, but there are things in the works. I say all the time, today's Sunday. A lot of people have to work tomorrow. But nothing you do today was affected today. Now, to illustrate that, today is, like I said, today is Sunday. Tomorrow is Monday. Many people have to get up and go to work. So tonight, before they go to bed, a lot of people will set an alarm for 8 o'clock in the morning, or whatever time it is, to wake up. They'll fall asleep. Alarm will ring at 8 o'clock. They'll wake up. They didn't wake up because at 7:59 they woke up. They woke up because at 10:30 they planned for tomorrow. And that's what we have to get into. We have to begin to plan for tomorrow. Today, we can't wake up and say, hey, there be something that happens and say, hey, let's start this now.
Right.
We have to begin the process of planning for the future today. And this is how things get done. Things do not get done by waiting until things have fallen apart, and then decide, okay, something needs to be done. I also want to say this. OC Hill cannot go anywhere. I want to make it clear that if OC Hill, and I also want to make it clear that none of this is actual. None of this has been said. All of this is inferred. But OC Hill must remain, because if OC Hill was to go, there is nothing coming back if there is not another plan in place. OC Hill cannot shut down. OC Hill cannot be demolished until a plan, and not just a plan, but until something else is in place to simply transition there. And I will spend the majority of my time fighting for that if necessary. But that is not something that we will allow to just happen. Now they can do what they're doing without city council. Buildings cannot be demolished without city council's approval. So that is something that we will fight to prevent. This is, and again, I want to emphasize, the building is not going down tomorrow.
Straight up.
The building is not being shut down tomorrow. There has been no word of that. But if there is ever word of that, what we are doing today must be the prevention for that.
Straight up. So, any GoFundMe in your inbox asking for money to save OC Hill, do not donate any money, please. The building is not going down tomorrow. Anything else?
Well, if it was like purely up to you, what would you like? If it was your decision only.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Like at this point, right? Right now they was like, we just gonna let Alomar decide.
Okay.
What would you do?
Okay. So I'll get into it. I said I wasn't, but I will.
I'm sorry.
No.
Did I push you?
It's fine. So, perfect world. We are, and we're just talking perfect world scenarios here.
Right.
We would build a new building. Here's the thing: if you have a 30-year-old car, and suddenly engine goes out, and they come to you and they tell you it's going to cost $7,000 to fix this car, are you fixing that car, or are you taking that $7,000 and putting that to a new car? There is no denying there are issues with OC Hill. There are different problems with OC Hill. Now, please do not misconstrue what I'm saying. I am not saying shut the building down today. What I am saying is we need this plan today for a new building tomorrow. And there are different ways to go about that. And I have been speaking about this and going about this and looking at ways to do this for the last 8 months. It is not an overnight process. It is not something that happens, quickly. It is something that takes time. It is something that takes backdoor meetings and building relationships with different organizations, and I have begun that process. So, asking me in a perfect world, what happens is we build a new building that is built for what the current incarnation of OC Hill is. OC Hill is actually prevalent. It is a school. It is not. It was not designed to do what it's currently doing. We're making it work. Don't get but it was not designed for what it's currently doing. So if you're asking me if I was giving the opportunity to do whatever it was that I wanted to do, it would be raise the funds to build a new building, and simply transfer all the services that are currently being used there into the new building. And what that we would also be able to bring in different organizations. Some of you remember when OC Hill was bustling, when everything was in there. There was a school in there. There was like 30 different nonprofits in there. We can get back to that. and keeping them here on the north. We have to keep these services on the north. We have to keep these organizations on the north. Some of these organizations have chose to come to the north, and if we push them away, they'll go to other parts of Mansfield and leave the north at lurch. It's imperative that we keep them here. But that would be how I.
Okay, do you understand why someone would have no faith in you guys knocking OC Hill down and then rebuilding it? Like, I'm not saying I don't have any faith in you, but just Mansfield as a whole. Like, me being like a primary resident on the north, that's where I grew up. That was my stomping grounds. I have no faith in you guys tearing it down and expecting it to be rebuilt and using the same services.
Yep. I definitely understand where that comes from. Sometimes I'm in different meetings and I'm looking at the faces and I'm saying, well, why am I even approaching this subject? Because I feel that, I get that. I mean, like you, I grew up on the North End. I'm a kid who lived in Fort Hill Pool during the summertime. I remember one summer leaving, spending my summers elsewhere, coming back the next summer, and Fort Hill was gone. So like you, I have seen that once something goes, it's gone, and it is not coming back. So I understand where that comes from. I also understand that I have been other places. I have been, and I have seen these things happen. A lot of us who have been in Mansfield and have only seen the destruction and no real building, there's no other frame of reference for you to have other than if this goes down, we're done. It's over. I spoke about earlier that we currently have a mindset that if I don't have it in my pockets, I can't get it. I have to have it on hand. But there are different funding sources that have never been looked at, and these are some of the sources that I am looking at, and that is in terms of programming has a lot to do with it. There are certain different programming that you can do, and just we can talk about adult daycare. We can talk about child daycare, where you're able to go after different federal funding sources. I won't get real deep into that, but I do understand where that comes from, and I do understand it's going to be a process to get people out of that mind state. It's something that I've been coming head up against for the last 8 months, because everyone that I speak to about this says that same thing. Well, where do we get the money? Where do we do this? Where do we do this? And it's because they've never seen it. Am I naive? Maybe. But my thought is, where's the harm in trying? Where's the harm in looking at what has been done in other cities and trying to replicate that here? And that's what I will continue to do. I will continue to talk to people until someone is just as crazy as me and says, oh yeah, this is something that we can actually do. And once I get one other person, that other person can help me get, and it'll be a snowball effect. And understand, it is something that can be done. You look 15 miles away, and you look at Ashland. Ashland is much smaller than we are. They have a state-of-the-art community center that they are now building upon, that will have aquatic services and a big tube thing. I just was there about 3 weeks ago, speaking with that director and touring that facility. But it's going to take a lot. Understand, it's not an easy process. It's not, it will take a lot. But I am up for the task. I came home to help the North End rebuild. and that is what I plan to do. I will spend the next 3 years and 10 months of my term focused on this.
So I think a lot of the North End residents, or we know why you believe it could happen, but I guess we don't understand what individuals who have memories there, who grew up, like you said, when it was busing. We know why it could happen. I guess we're not really hearing the benefits of it happening, and why, we know why other people may think it would be good, but for the average voter or hopeful participant, right, in this process, why is this a good thing?
And let's clarify the question. Are we talking about why is a new building a good thing, or what are we?
Yeah, just the because we hear, a lot of the times, again, we hear that, OCL's being turned down. You clarify that that's not necessarily what's happening right now anyway. But just this entire process, what are the residents, and as a representative of the North End residents, what are the residents getting out of this process?
Okay.
How can this better us?
Sure. We're getting a lot deeper than I was expecting to, but let's go ahead. I grew up on Stockton Avenue, and I grew up on Stockton Avenue, right across from Johns Park. When I grew up, there was Monday and Shayla. There was Thomas and Thornton, Thomas Michael Thornton. There was the Lane family. There was the Lee family. There was Hassan Maddox. There was my neighborhood. There were a million kids running around, and I'm just talking about Stockton Avenue. All those families that I named are just on. We had the Pattersons. And this is just on a 2-block from Buckley to Longview, is what I'm talking about. You go to that block now, there is about 6 houses. The rest have been torn down. My biggest fear, and what has happened is a lot of Rayon Lane lives in Merlin. The Lees are no longer, the daughter is there. But what happens is, as we grew up, we all left. We left our parents there. We left our grandparents there. As they got older, and some passed on, those houses deteriorated, had to be torn down. No one else moved in. The kids, and I was one of them. I just came back last year. We all left, and my fear is in 20, 25 years, that neighborhood is gone. Because the lanes have been there 40 years, 50 years. My family has been there 40, 50 years. The Lees have been there 40, 50 years. The people who are still there have been there forever. And if they go, the neighborhood is gone. There is no Stockton Avenue anymore. And this is happening throughout that part of the North End. There was a project that came to me in regard to building on top of those vacant lots. And when I was listening, so I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. But then as I thought deeper, it became, okay, well, we can build a house, but how do we get someone to buy a house? How do we get someone to rent a house there? What's the attraction? What is the draw? And there wasn't one. And I went back and I looked at different things that had happened in Newark, New Jersey, different things that had happened in parts of Trenton, New Jersey, and how they rebuilt. And that was where this idea of rebuilding OC Hill came from. It was not an idea of, it wasn't a thought of replacing OC Hill as it is. It was a thought of how do we rebuild the neighborhood that is dying? How do we create an attraction to that neighborhood that is dying? How do we resuscitate this neighborhood? And that is where the idea of rebuilding OC Hill and repurposing parts of we'll get deep in my plan, and repurposing parts of Johns Park to be that attraction, to be that attraction for that new Lane family who is 25 years old, who is looking to lay down roots somewhere and can look at Stockton Avenue and say, oh, wow, we have this new community center where there's a daycare center where I can wake up, walk across the street, take my son, daughter to daycare, come home, walk back across the street and pick them up, type of thing, and create that neighborhood again. So the benefit of it to me is to help resuscitate the North End. I believe, and this plan that I have is for that sole purpose, to create an attraction, to create a hook, to create a catalyst to revive the North End. So when they begin building those houses, they're not just building houses for the sake of building houses. They're building houses because there's now realtors who can say, let's go look at this neighborhood on the north because of this is happening and this is happening and this is happening. So is part of this me being in fear of the neighborhood that I grew up in, the neighborhood that I love, is dying? Yes. But something has to happen in order to bring it back. And I believe this is the first of many steps that are needed in doing that.
Sure. That's it. We all good?
Yep.
Hey, brother, I appreciate you, man. It's always a pleasure.
And again, I appreciate you guys allowing me to come down to speak to the people. I want to reiterate, OC Hill is not being torn down today. It is not being torn down tomorrow. However, I need everyone within the sound of my voice to show up on Tuesday at City Council and continue to show up. And make noise about this current issue, so we do not have a notice coming down saying the building is being torn down.
Yeah.
We must start that today. Come out, show your face, make some noise, raise your hand and say we are over here and this is needed, so we can continue to service the people who need to be serviced.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Councilman Alamar Davenport. Thank you, sir. All right. So, I mean, let's get right into it, man. We've been talking about it. Dwayne Wade. So I want to say the right thing. So can I say, is it okay to say his son who has chosen to identify as his daughter, or do I have to say Dwayne Wade's daughter? And I'm being serious. I mean for like politically correct purposes.
I think the point is that she just wants to be referred to as his daughter.
Okay, so Zaya, is it Zaya?
Zaya.
Zaya Wade. There we go. Where we at?
I mean, it's so many different aspects to it. Like, I think that the biggest thing is a lot of people aren't educated on what transgender is and what gay is. So the first thing that people want, the biggest rebuttal that I see is, oh, he's too young to know he's gay, But then you have straight men or even straight women who had sex at 12.
I knew
what
was going on. Yeah.
Like, I don't get it. It's okay. Like, you knew you were straight at 12. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But nobody can know that they're gay at 12. Make it make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The second thing that I see is he's too young to be gay, or he's too young to make that big of a decision. But nowhere did they say that he has transformed. All he's asking is for everyone to refer to him as Zaya.
Right,
as
pronouns. That's all.
it.
Just pronouns.
That's it. Nothing else.
None.
They didn't say he's going, going into surgery anytime soon or anything. So I think that a lot of people are using their own perception of it or whatever, or assumptions to make it fit their agenda more.
Right.
You know
I'm so lost in the, they don't, too young to know they're gay.
But he didn't say he was gay.
It doesn't, sure. But to me, it don't matter because
That's kind of where I'm at.
I've never heard like kids be like, boys be like 4 months old, like, woo, ladies man, look at you flirting with the waitress.
Oh, for real.
I'm like, oh, he's a baby.
Yes.
He giggled.
Dudes
but
are
all
sexualized
right.
at a very early age.
But
And then to
Hell
be
yeah.
like, now, no, like, we don't know. I'm
Nah, it's a
like,
big deal.
because, and also that's not also always a bad thing. Like, I've seen little boys, I don't know, give little girls kisses or things like that. Like, you know what I mean? It's not a sexual thing. They're still children, even though they might. I mean, you've seen little
Kids can be
have
sexual. I got caught humping my.
What I'm saying, it doesn't have to be.
My boy
right?
cousin.
I don't even
Yeah.
want to go in on what you want.
I got caught humping my boy cousin.
Cool. It's don't mean you know that ain't my business.
But check it out. But listen, there's more to it. There's more to it. Listen, we was like 4. I didn't necessarily know what I was doing, but I knew what was going on. But we got in trouble. You feel me? But what you saying? What you saying?
I just, as far as like, I don't know, maybe kids having crushes or something like. You
I
see
feel like I'm
little
not gay
girls or
'cause it was
little
my
boys
cousin.
have crushes on celebrities or something, and it can be innocent without being something sexualized. So
Yeah.
I'm lost on now how it's.
Automatically.
Now on this side, it's automatically like, that's nasty.
The
Too
part
young,
that
you
was
don't
serious
know.
to me,
Like,
that kind of it brought tears in my eyes, man, was people was coming at D Wade as a father. I'm like, why is it that easy to go there?
Yeah.
Why?
But
Why
to
is
be
it so
fair,
easy?
I feel like it's a lot less. Like, that's my favorite part about this is that like niggas love D Wade so much.
Yeah.
So a lot of people ain't really going in. A lot of people just like, that's his business.
I don't know, man. Niggas was going in on dude.
was
I
like
mean,
niggas
but
was
if
going
it
in
was
on
Terry
dude, man.
Crews, it would be a field day. You understand? Like, I feel like I'm just glad it is somebody that like was in the
Men
culture
look up
that is
to,
respected.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know what I mean?
They challenge his
Because-
fatherhood though. Like,
and, you know,
what?
it's still gonna happen because
That's pretty
That
serious
happens.
though,
a lot
man.
of people talking about he was crossed off their favorite player list. I mean,
Oh,
but
Yeah, I
for
didn't see. I see
strictly-
some wild
for
shit.
strictly, loving his son, and that's to me, that's I mean, his daughter. I'm sorry. That's what makes it weirder for me is that a lot of these people have children. You know what I'm saying? And to me, a parent's love for their children is supposed to be unconditional, and that just lets me know that a lot of these people with kids, only love their kids under certain conditions.
Ooh,
They love them through
that's
money.
A tough
And
No, that's
pill
real
to
shit. They
swallow.
love them through money, man.
That's a tough pill to
They
swallow.
feel like giving
It's
money.
like,
They feel like giving money is enough. That's parenting. You dig? And a lot of people love. A lot of men, in particular, black men love through their ego anyway. So a lot of us don't really know what it means to love. So like unconditional love just don't really. I'm not speaking for all black men, but a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? We don't really know what it means to love unconditional. It's like I love you if this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love you
love
unless
you,
this.
but. Yeah,
you feel
I
me?
love you,
I love you, but.
you know.
if you fit
and if
into
your
this
love,
box.
Yeah.
and if
Yeah,
your
you
love
fit
got
into
a
this
butt
box.
on it, and I didn't, I didn't mean like that. But if your love has a butt, then it's not love.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say anymore.
I don't get it. It's just very. I don't know.
I
I see
really
it.
have like I didn't really have like I looked at it and it was just like something like okay.
Yeah,
to me.
like, I didn't
just
care.
didn't really think too deep into it. I don't know why.
I thought it
And
was
then
beautiful.
as black, it's beautiful
I
because
thought it
as
was
a
beautiful.
I'm like
as a
you, I
black
didn't
as
really
a
care,
black
man.
gay, black person that's a part of that community. You lack a lot of that. Like now, my mom is very supportive, but I still have a father. I mean, he's whatever. But
Do you think that's because you're a woman, your dad, they're supporting you more than if you're
no,
a man?
because my mom didn't really support me at first, and I don't think she has much recollection of that. But I remember her kind of scolding me about it at first, whatever the case may be. But like, I think it's very important and it's a household thing. Did you guys see her brother
Yeah,
on there?
her
Like, you know
brother.
what I'm saying? Like, I'll lay my life on, my life on the line for you to make you happy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Like, I
it's
support
it's a
you, period.
collective thing, and I think that's something that's and black people and white people go through it, but I think that's something that black people, in particularly, because that's who I am. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I don't know what happens in white families. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But I think that's something that we need to take note. We need to, follow suit because
Come on.
you have these people that, you know, or in this community that kill themselves, you know, or go out there and don't know how to be loved, or I seen something that said these people grow to be older and they don't know themselves because they've been something else for so long to try to protect themselves from the people that love them. So you spend between 25 and 30 try to pick apart which part of you is really not you, you know, and that's a hard reality.
My problem is the things that we as a people, okay, you know what I mean, whatever your beliefs are, because a lot of people go the religious route, so it makes the argument, it's like Teflon. You can't really penetrate that without being ignorant. But it's like the things we okay as opposed to being gay, if that makes sense. Yeah. It's like, oh, being gay, you're going to hell. That's wrong. But it's 12-year-olds popping Zans and like, you feel me, and shooting people. And I'm not judging them, but I'm just saying like that's okay. And it's like, I don't know, man. If my son's in that situation, I'd much rather him, have. Suck a dick before he, shoot. I'm just saying, like, if I had to choose, like, okay, Dad, I'm either gonna, pop Zans and shoot at people or suck dick. I'm like, you know what? Suck the dick.
They don't want nobody to do that.
And I'm just saying. Sid, would you suck a dick before you shot somebody, right? I'm sucking the dick, bro. I'm not. That's not in my.
What did you try to say about my nigga?
No, I'm not saying Sid. I'm just saying.
I feel like nobody's gonna make you make that choice.
The choice, exactly.
But but the point was just the things people okay, the things that we have okayed amongst our people, as opposed to a lifestyle choice.
But to that argument, somebody could just simply say, "I don't okay those things," right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
so, like,
but I mean, just like if,
okay, well, I'm not okay with people shooting people. You know, so I get that.
Yeah,
part,
but we, and I'm saying us, not anyone in particular, we nod our head to people who congratulated every. You know what I'm saying? We glorify it, whether we do it or not. We listen to it. We okay it. These people, we can say, "Oh, I don't do that in real life," but we enable it by listening to it, by clicking on it. People, these kids think it's okay because of the. You know what I'm saying? They think this lifestyle is okay because of what we allow. Now, all I'm saying is, and this is okay. So homosexuality. This is a personal lifestyle choice. You know what I mean? This isn't something that's harming anyone else.
Exactly.
This is something that people think is. So if you think one is, so I just don't. I think we're confused. You know what I mean? It's like,
but again,
why is that okay and this isn't?
It's not homosexuality though.
It's transphobia.
He's never told us that.
Yeah, but I think it's still all in that LGBT range where people, all of it is like, I don't want any of it.
Yeah.
Like, they don't want none of that either. They don't, it's simply just because you just think it shouldn't be. And like, my thing is like, you cool. You don't have to agree on Facebook, whatever. But when you at home, like, really examine why and like ask yourself. And I promise you won't have a great answer. Like it really asks yourself, like, why shouldn't this person be this way or live their life? Like, you're not going to be able to come up with a good answer to yourself of like how that hurts you or stops you or whatever.
From doing whatever you doing. As long as he's not blowing down on you. Yeah.
You want to stay away from judging people based off what you believe.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? You judging people's personal choices based off what you believe.
You got to examine why you believe what you believe.
Well, I don't want to go. No.
Because
that's not fair.
To a point where it's like, why do you believe that? That's got nothing to do with you.
No, but you can't tell people. Okay, so maybe I misunderstood what you're saying. If you believe that something is wrong, then you have a right not to act it out if you believe it. What you do not, and what no religious book tells you have the right to do, is, it may enable it, is chastise or judge someone else because of their choices. Now, you can't tell people that what they believe, they should question that.
You should.
I don't
100%. You should always question.
Sometimes you do have to just like.
You gotta question.
You gotta get people.
Because why do you believe it?
That's contradictory.
You gotta get down to it.
You gotta allow people to have their beliefs.
Why do I really believe that this shouldn't be? It's just because people have always because.
Well, that's. I mean,
you gotta break that down with yourself.
Some logic. That's to me. Like, and that when
people,
was
that's
arguing on
the
Facebook,
answer is just
like,
because it's right, because it is. Like, okay.
I don't know. I think people are allowed to believe what they want, man. As long as you're not impeding on anyone else to believe what they want.
With yourself,
just make it
examine why you believe that. A lot of people have no idea why they believe things.
I
cannot tell you a single reason why they believe it.
I go a step further and agree with you. Said most people have no idea why they believe anything that they do.
Yeah, but
it was told to them.
It's like real life people out here that believe that R. Kelly should be free because we believe that
Can we get
Zaya
it? Do we have enough time to get into this?
Yeah, yeah, I believe so. Just a couple minutes.
Because
No.
there was
I'm cool. Like,
No, R. Kelly shouldn't be free.
no,
I don't think he should.
bro. R. Kelly was on the camera peeing on someone. He is not innocent.
Yeah.
R. Kelly is so much different, and I don't want to get into because that's not what we're talking about. But R. Kelly is so much different than the Bill Cosby's. Not that Bill Cosby was innocent or anything, but there's not speculation. Like, we saw Robert Kelly on camera committing this crime. Yeah. We saw him. He made songs insinuating like everything leads up to this guy being guilty. Please stop saying free R. Kelly.
But
However,
this is the point. But that's the point. Let's be real. It's not because they don't think he did it. They think that what he did
shouldn't
be punishable.
Exactly.
I think
That's not the same thing. They're fine. They know exactly what he did and that he did it.
Well,
they don't think he should be in jail for it. They don't see those girls as victims. They don't see what he did as wrong.
Straight up.
It's fine.
Yeah.
And that's what niggas need to cup say. And it's nothing for me to argue with.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, you're
You
right.
think that's fine thing to do, sir?
I think niggas.
So your daughter
I
is
don't need to
involved.
be anywhere around.
And I think
anymore.
what they're saying is they believe there's inconsistencies with a child's ability to consent.
That's because they're sexualizing the situation. Like I said,
Again.
you're saying, okay, if I at this 13, 14 underage girl, if Zaya can understand consent, then so should they, is what they're saying. But it's two different things because, again, Zaya never said, I like having sex with men. She's saying, call me Zaya.
And
That's
if
it.
she did, it would need to be someone of her age.
Flat out.
I hear. Now, wait.
That's where it doesn't. I'm so lost on the
Wait.
comparison. It has nothing
Not
to
playing
do with.
playing
I'm
white
not-
devil's advocate. Okay, so it's people like, okay, what if a 13-year-old? We're talking about consent and Zaya having a right? So what if Zaya had to said, I want to have sex, or I'm attracted, I'm in love with a grown man, and the parents said it's okay? Then what?
It doesn't matter what their parents say. The law said it's
not consent. Exactly.
You
She's
cannot
too
be a
young to
grown
consent.
person
Yeah, I
and
guess I-
consent
I guess
to
I
a
didn't-
child.
I guess I didn't think about
And
that.
again, that's just, it's like taking
I guess I didn't think about
anything. It's just because
Once against the
people-
law, when is it?
Talking about their parents, okay?
Yeah.
Throw them in the jail too.
Like, for real though.
Like, it's not hard.
and that's the same thing like with the R. Kelly situation. Like a lot of them parents that we feel like they
You will
fed
let
their
you
words
might
to
let a
that
child
shit.
go on a date with a
Yeah,
child.
yeah.
You'll let a girl or a 13-year-old boy go on a date with a 13-year-old, but you're not going to let a 13-year-old go on a date with
With
a.
a 30-year-old.
It's not
It's not
just
the same.
because now
Yeah.
it's.
I think bringing up the
somebody of a-
legality of the situation kind of closes it. Like, hey, this is.
This is illegal.
Yeah, that's
That's
fucked though.
But,
Honestly,
yeah,
though,
Like, you know what I'm
I don't
saying?
see what.
I don't get the comparison. Like, and I don't.
R. Kelly
even-
broke the law, no matter if they were men or girls or
Yeah.
boys or.
It's like against. It's literally.
It's nothing wrong
like,
with Zaya going on
And at
dates.
the age of 16,
There's nothing wrong with her going on dates with whomever she chooses to date if
As
that's
long
okay
as
with her
they-
parents.
as
And they
long
say
as
you
they
can
are.
date a woman, you can or date a girl or a boy. It's gonna not be an adult though.
Yeah.
So would
then
D-
that's just simple. I don't get.
so what if
it.
D Wade was like? So what if D Wade and Gab or the mother? I'm not sure about their situation.
Because
was
I'm
like,
sorry to cut you off, but before I forget, because honestly, you LGBT people in that area need safe spaces to be children and date. That's a normal thing that people do.
Yeah.
We're straight. We get pushed to
Yeah.
date. Look, when you get people can look at you if you don't got a boyfriend or girlfriend if you straight.
Yeah.
So they need safe spaces to where they can date and so they don't gotta look to grown men and people who prey on especially those children because they know that they're like hiding who they are.
right.
So
right,
it's
right.
nothing wrong with people having safe spaces to date and stuff. We know what this is. Like, let's quit being confused. Like, oh, it's they don't know what's going on because they're not straight. That all of a sudden
Yeah.
you
You
shut
don't-
down and you
yeah,
can't
you
can't
can't
think
think
straight
right.
and know what's going on.
Like being straight is not the rite of passage to everything. No, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like
Everything
oh, I'm
good.
straight, so
Only
I
straight
can
people
date
got
and watch
common sense. Like,
all
yeah.
kind of stuff and date and all this stuff.
That's
because
just
I'm
what I
straight.
like my heterosexual people to. You know what I mean? Just like, okay, if you're against homosexuality, just what are you okaying in spite of homosexuality?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's a real nigga question,
That's
bro.
really
Like,
somebody
what are you
said that
okaying?
earlier, like, if people are okay with dumb shit in order to spite,
Because
homosexuality.
a little boy, a woman was dancing in front of the camera. I'm sure y'all saw this. It was a GIF, a GIF. I don't know. I only read. I don't. And the little boy walked up to the camera like this with the gun, and people was like laughing and joking with it and shit. And to me, I mean, either or, I thought like they were just, you know what I'm saying? But to me, that can end up being actually harmful to society. D Wade's daughter choosing to be called and especially if they're family, I just feel like I'm with you, bro. That's a personal thing. Yeah. The idea that I don't know, and then going to something else that we get to judge someone's fatherhood. Black people, we still don't understand parenthood all the way, man. What does that have to do with him
being?
If it was me, the hardest part would be actually like doing it though. It wouldn't be like I'm disrespect, but like I raised you this long, calling you, Zion, which I think was her name before. But then, like, having all of a sudden, all right, now I got to call you Zaya. That'd probably be hard to do.
Yeah, it's probably not all of a sudden, though.
I'm
sure.
I'm pretty sure it didn't happen in one day.
Yeah, somebody that's probably like,
do you want to be called Zaya?
I call myself saying, like, he sometimes, like, in this, like, during this segment, because, like, you just know somebody has something for so long. Yeah,
we're not that educated and conditioned on it.
Yeah,
right.
We're not also in the position to where we have to, continuously, you know what I'm saying? That's something that I'm sure that they train. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure they have slipped up because the brother post, he said, "I love you, man," and then he went and edited "I love you, kid." You know what I'm saying? So it's, I mean,
it's just, but it's like being black and like in white society, like you're just so used to racism. Like I don't,
right?
It's like I'm used to it. So they're already growing up in society where they're used to that. You know what I mean? So it's not. Those little things don't mean anything. It's like as long as they're literally accepting her to be who she wants to be, I'm sure they're fine with it. You know what I mean?
I think a lot of people are just gay, to be honest, and they don't they don't like that they're gay. They know it, they don't like it, so they just keep saying like.
Well,
they
it's
project.
Not that, though, too. It's a lot.
I think if people knew what they were revealing, they would stop saying a lot of shit.
That's true, but it is it's just a lot of straight people wanting shit to be how they want it to be because you want to be the big straight person and talk about
but
gay
there's
people.
no one who's comfortable with themselves that has a problem with that.
Sorry, the joke's not funny. Sorry, you're not better than us. You're better than anybody. Yeah. We're not better than anybody because we're straight or we're not. Like I think people just like that. People like feeling better than people. Like having that one up for some reason. It's the same reason why I still hold on to that sism. Like even though it ain't helping nobody. Yeah. It's like, well, I want to be better than the straight or the gays or the niggers. Like, okay, get over it. Like,
right.
You felt good on that Facebook post for an hour. Like, get over it. Like,
I mean, just like the masculinity. I've been doing a lot of, what I'm saying, just deep diving, self diving. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of it is just they're not gonna. If someone can make you gay, bro, you are already gay. You know what I mean? And so just embrace it. Grab a penis. You know what I mean? It's fine.
Listen, man.
No, seriously, I'm being serious.
I don't care how I come packaged.
You say what?
I love all my black people. I don't care how y'all come packaged. These people that is against it, that's not
Trump
not
supporters. You love black Trump supporters?
Yeah, I got love for some black Trump supporters for real. Because a lot of them are scammers for real.
Yeah. You said what?
A lot of them really just scammers.
Yeah.
Candace Owens is just a scammer. She doesn't believe any of that.
Man,
she believes none of it.
See,
she's a scammer.
Now y'all call me conspiracy theories reverse, but look, I kind of always felt that about Omarosa. Like, I congratulate them sisters.
What's up.
Oh, yeah.
Omarosa know what's up.
She faked her way into the White House.
She just faked her way to the White House. That's it.
Come on.
I'm not mad.
Yeah, but
so. In conclusion,
shout out Zaya Wade, man. Lead that.
And shout out to the Wade family.
Yeah, shout out to Zaya Wade. That's beautiful. Like
perfect example of.
And then when she spoke about it, she just spoke with like so much intelligence.
Can it be white people one time that publicly dog us just once, like the old days? Like, can it stop being black people? I miss getting cussed out by white folks. Like I'm tired of it being black people every time.
Please, because I don't never see it when they do. So
never. Like Caitlyn Jenner won Woman of the Year, man. Like damn, I'm so tired of.
Well, with Caitlyn Jenner won, it wasn't black people that was trying to say like it was a lot of white people who had a problem with like.
Not really, man. If white people got a problem with something, it's not winning Woman of the Year.
Caitlyn Jenner winning Woman of the Year.
But it wouldn't have happened if you know what I mean. If the collective were against, it wouldn't have happened. You know what I'm saying? It would not have happened. It's always us tearing down our own. Let that happen. And another thing, I got to throw in my misogyny. I'm tired of other people doing stuff that black men are not okay with. And I mean that to people who are proud of who they are. There's a lot of dudes who hang out with girls who are, you know what I'm saying, living another way. So if you're okay with that, don't be hypocritical. Why can't black, you know what I'm saying, why do you hate us more than you hate, you feel me? Yeah. Like if everybody else can do it, a black man can do it. Now, if a white man can suck a dick, so can I.
Then
Not me.
End the show.
No, don't end the show right there. What type of shit is that?
And scene.
Suck a dick. Flat out.
It's a wrap.